Hey guys, so let's have a bit of a talk this morning. I say this morning, it's 11:58 on Sunday. So over the time that I've been doing this whole farming thing, I've had some rough spots, right? With any business, you're gonna have rough spots, especially if you're live streaming to a public audience. To my dedicated viewers, I'm not talking about you, but one of them brought up something important, and it's temperature in the pig shed. So I got some tools here. One's a IR, basically like a infrared kind of, I don't know, you can see temperature in different spots on the ground and in the surrounding area with a picture. And the other is a high sensitivity thermometer. It's a type K thermocouple, so it'll measure down to like, I don't know, 0.3 of a degree or something stupid like that. It's really sensitive. So we're going to use those tools and measure in there. But pertaining to the rough spots, so probably over the past 6 months, I've had, crazy goose person scam me out of geese. I've had some issues with comments on YouTube where people absolutely lose their minds thinking I'm doing the wrong thing. I've had some people scam me out of some other stuff because I'm too nice or too trusting. I don't know. Now, every YouTube video that I make, I don't really clip or cut, or I experimented with a little bit there, but honestly I'm really too lazy to do it. It just, I don't have the time, and it sucks. Clipping and fading and doing all the nonsense. But every video I make is either uncut, or it's probably why I've only got 1,500 subscribers. That's fine. I'm not doing it for the money on YouTube. Doesn't matter to me. But I don't clip anything out to make it seem as though I'm doing the right thing. I put a lot of research and time into what I do, and I make sure that what I do is really above board. The purpose of all of my animals, I know I made a video about this before, but the purpose of my farm is, one, to make money. There's no reason to have in my opinion, a farm that you have, 350 plus pets. That's insanity, right? Like, all of my animals serve a purpose. Even Maggie and Hawkeye up there, they serve a purpose. And it's not, as snuggly as they are, it's not to be my pets. Same as the Muscovy ducks. They are meat birds, 100%. That's what they will be used for. And that is the purpose of me growing them out. It's not to look at them, to enjoy their company, to make sure that they, I don't know, look good out in my yard or something like that. I don't know. But the purpose of them is for meat, and I sell them for meat, and they produce an income for my farm. Same as my roosters. I've mentioned it a few times. I take in roosters, and I pay people for roosters. I challenge you to try to sell a rooster on Craigslist or Facebook. The only people that are going to want to buy it are people that are going to want to eat it. That's how it goes. So everything on my farm has a purpose. I don't cut it out. I don't try to hide anything. And I try to make it as real as possible. And a lot of people just don't, I don't know if there's a disconnect. Good example, if we were to ever have like a full shutdown of our economy, I feel like a lot of people think that, I'll just go to the grocery store and get food. Well, where do you think the food in the grocery store comes from, right? People like me. If I can't get my stuff out to people, then, or even a grocery store or whatever, I'm not certified to do that, but there ain't going to be anything on the shelf, bro. Like, you're not going to be able to walk to the store or drive to the store and buy your dinner. It's not going to work that way. So truth in advertising, I guess, is my my intent, right? Like, I advertise myself as someone who has a purpose, I guess, and I don't try to hide it. There's no point in trying to hide it. It just creates more contention, and I'm not about that, right? Living a stress-free life is really my goal, you know, or the stresses that I want to deal with, right? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to, I haven't messed with the pig barn at all. Haven't even entered it. The pigs are out there. They were surprised when I just walked down here. I watched Maggie take a dump, so, you know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take these tools here. I'm going to walk into that pig barn, and we're going to measure the ambient temperature of the air. And then we're going to take the Thermotech temperature, thermometer, sensitive thermometer, put a piece of straw over the probe on the end so it's not reflective or, you know, changes the temperature by IR radiation, really, or reflective radiation. And we'll measure the temperature directly underneath the lamps. That'll tell us what the temperature is under the lamps. We'll measure the ambient air temperature before we do that, so we see what the ambient temperature is in the air. And we'll walk around with the IR video thermometer and see what the surface temperature is on different parts of the barn, under the lamps. The problem is with IR, like this guy here, it's sensitive to IR light, so the temperature will read more than it is if you pointed it at an IR light, which is why we have the thermocouple probe. So let me flip this around. We'll take a look, and we'll see what the temperature is underneath and around, and see, you know, where the pigs lay outside the barn, what the temperature is out there on the mud, and it'll give us an understanding of how comfortable they are, I guess, because, you know, pigs are, you know, they're all black, mine are, and you know, it'll tell us whether or not they're overheated, and if they are, I'll adjust the lamps so that the ground isn't so hot, or turn them off entirely if the ambient temperature in the air is higher than it should be. Now my barn has a big wide open horse door on the one side over here. Nope, that's the other side. Over here where the pigs are, so they can go in and out. And it has this window that's wide open, no pane, no screen, nothing. It's just anything can fly in there. So that acts as a good temperature regulator. On the other side of the barn, there's a window as well. It's got a piece of plywood over it, but it's not fully sealed. Right now the wind is currently blowing directly behind me that way. So it's going to create a suction on that barn that'll suck heat out. It also has a floor above the window up in the loft there that is slat wood that has spacing all between it, so temps can rise up. The roof is aluminum, and that means that infrared temperature and thermal radiation will, oh boy, it'll dissipate rather rapidly. And the eaves are not closed, so good airflow up there. It was actually a horse barn, and the loft was used to store hay to keep it dry, so that's why it was built the way it was. So let's pause this. I'll walk up there. I don't want to show me tripping in through the doorway because of the way I have it set up, but give me 1 second here. All right, so first we're going to measure surface temperature around the place. And you can see I got my heat lamps here. They're about 3 feet off the ground. Got to get this booted up. Hey, man. Flip up the little cover. All right. So you can see there it's a little slow and crappy, but right. So over about 3 to 5 days, I let this kind of stuff run to determine temperature on devices to make sure I'm not going to cause a fire or anything like that. This is my network switch. So we have right above it our power strip, and that red cord is the main supply. So if we look at that, we see that the main cord is not hot, which means I'm not overdrawing on power. My audio bridge is hot because it gets hot, and my switch is hot right where the processor is going to be, right in the center there. So let's take a look at the reflective radiation below the lamps on the hay. So it looks like the highest temp is 104 degrees. I saw a spike. Now remember, this is reflective radiation, and these devices aren't good for measuring IR. Now the rest of the barn, you can see apparently there's a hot spot back there, and probably a chicken. No, that's my camera. You know, the lamp itself, the outer cover looks like it's pretty cool. The inside hitting 114 degrees. But the rest of the barn, you know, see how it's red between the studs? That's going to be reflective radiation. That's going to be the sun hitting on that side of, or sorry, it is thermal, but it's the sun hitting on the side of the barn. So let's walk outside and have a look at their mud. So where they normally lay, right here in the mud, I can't even see this thing. See if I can get back here. So it looks like the mud around the bowl is at 82 degrees. So them laying around that muddy bowl is definitely cooling them down. And we have all the rest of the area here. We have right where the sun's hitting, so 108 degrees at the base of that plywood. And over here, right by the other door, same thing. It's hot over here, 106 degrees in some spots. So they have shade. They are absolutely welcome to go in here where the temperatures are spot heated. You know, they could lay inside this doorway at 82 degrees, 84 degrees. So it's not hot in this barn. You can see them lamps spot heat. There's a damn chicken. All right, so let's turn this off. We'll grab this thermocouple here. And what we're gonna do, gotta protect this sensor. What we're gonna do is take this thermocouple and we're going to slide a piece of straw over the end of it. I gotta find a piece that's worth sliding over. I'm gonna have to pause here and insert this thing on there. I'm sorry, I only got two hands. All right, so I got a piece of straw over my thermocouple sensor here. We're gonna lay it right underneath, straw up, and we'll measure over a few minutes what that temperature hits. So I'm gonna pause again and let this come up to temp and stabilize. So we're still climbing, 97, but it is slowing down a bit. All right, so it looks like we're kind of stabilizing around 100 degrees underneath this lamp. Of course, I say that now, it's gonna rise some more. Yeah. So 100 degrees, between 90 and 100 degrees is kind of where you want piglets to be, especially when they're just birthed. All right, so it looks like we're fluctuating back and forth. All right, so we're gonna go with ambient temperature being around 101 degrees underneath these lamps, which means that I probably need to move them up about 6 inches, which is fine. You know, and it's one of them things that you just, you have to test sometimes, right? So put this over here. So that's one of the reasons that I built in the way I built these strings. I have a slip knot on them, and I can just work it up the line here. So we go up a ways. Oh, great, my slip knot ain't tight enough anymore. Oh no, I got this lavalier mic clipping it. That's why it's slipping. So we work this up. And now we're a good 6 inches off the other one. And we'll work this one up as well. Oh, all the way up there. So that line's a little longer. And I'm short about 3 inches, but that's all right. That'll reduce the temperatures pretty good. So yeah, that'll reduce the temperatures on the ground. I wouldn't consider that too high in terms of temp for the pigs, especially when they have areas that they can escape the heat. I think these pigs just really want to be outside. You know, they went from having run of my entire yard to this little closed in area. So they're kind of, I think they're just really wanting to be out. So they hang out here. Where they're at now is actually their poop area. So they poop all over here and hang out over here. You see Maggie and Hawk over there laying underneath the tree. But in terms of temps, I think we're mostly good. I know some people have concerns, and that's fine. It's valid to have concerns. You got to remember though, if you're looking at my temperatures up on the hen house, they're going to be different than what's down here, because my barn is not only shaded with an attic, but we also have a bunch of trees around it that are going to help cool that temperature down some. So it's not as hot as you would think down here. In fact, I would be perfectly fine sitting down here in the shed for the next few hours without any water or anything. It feels fine in here. You know, there's enough cross flow. You can see I got this window here that I pointed out earlier. I got that one over there with the plywood on it. It has no panes in it. And then I got this nice big wide open horse door with the doors pinned back to keep them closed. You can see we got some latches there. And then we got this big overhang here that's you know, going to help funnel air in. You know, up top there we have a floor. Like I said, it's all knotty and holy, and there's spaces between it, so that'll definitely help with some of the you know, the flow out of air, hot air. And on the sides over here, there's actually about an 6 to 8 inch gap on that side. See that gap? So that'll help as well. So it's definitely not hot in here. I mean, I'm not, like, I'm a hot individual. I am very hot in temperature, not in looks, but you know, I'm not sweating or anything. So you know, normally my shirt is soaked, but not in here. It's actually really pleasant. So I mean, to the one person who emailed me and let me know that she was concerned about the temperatures in the pig barn, I hope this was enough evidence to show you that it wasn't or isn't as bad as it seems based on the temperature up at my hen house. You got to remember that guy, that temp sensor is sitting under eave on the duck shed, and it ain't quite right all the time. We're talking super cheap China garbage that I kind of hacked together to make work. It is what it is. So anyway, I hope this alleviated some of your concerns. I know really you want what's best for the piglets, but I don't. Charlotte's being real noisy. I don't necessarily see any issue here aside from adjusting the lamps up to get that ambient spot heat down a little bit, and I think we've done that. So beyond that, short of turning them off to get rid of that spot heat, it's fine. There's enough place in here that they can be cool. So I'll see you guys. 20 minutes is enough, and have a good day.